People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Hope you're all well and safe and you're all blessed. Now, where the transfer window is concerned for all clubs, it's beginning to heat up. You're seeing a lot of movements, and selfishly, specific to Arsenal Football Club, we can't count our chickens before they hatch. Until players are holding scarves, who knows? But we're seeing some progress where outgoings are concerned. It seems like Calafiori is moving ever closer to signing for Arsenal Football Club. Remember, people, until we see a man holding the Arsenal shirt, being toured around the Emirates, saying he grew up watching Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Ian Wright, Tony Adams, insert Arsenal legend or fan favourite here, we cannot count our chickens before they hatch. But we've got some talking points to go over. So if you give me 2 seconds, people, I'll share my screen with you lot and we'll get straight into it, people. Again, if you haven't smashed the like button, don't forget to do that. If you haven't subscribed, join the journey towards 70,000 and give me your thoughts. Now, Calafiori, again, check out my tactical analysis video. Long story short, did very well for Bologna, helping them get to the Champions League. Did very well for Italy in what they had to play in terms of the Euros. Missed the last game in which they went out. And it seems like Arsenal see him as an addition to strengthen our squad. Can play as a centre-half, can play at left-back. Gives us great options, you know, to flirt between Saliba, Gabriel, Benjamin White, Timber, Tomiyasu, asterisk next to Calafiori because he's not officially an Arsenal player. These are some great options, and Zinchenko and Kirio are still here as well. Romano has offered a lot of thoughts, and he has said probably next week Arsenal hope to have a final answer on this deal from Bologna for Calafiori. The relationship with Bologna is very good for Arsenal. Next week is going to be important, people. So it means the content keeps going on, people. Calafiori has been clear he wants Arsenal. Negotiations between Arsenal and Bologna are ongoing, as the Italian side want a package of around 50 million euros. So that's about 40 odd million pounds, people, or in and around that. Apparently Arsenal and Calafiori have agreed on a 5-year deal. You know, in his early 20s, 5-year deal. Of course, if he develops like we've shown with previous talents, he'll get improved deals. But long-termism is the theme here, people. Talks between Arsenal and Bologna are ongoing, says Romano. Well, Calafiori is waiting. He wants to join Arsenal. He'll sign allegedly a contract until June of 2029, folks. There you have it, people. FC Basel will receive 50% of the sale, people, over 4.5 million. So quite the profit for Basel, where he spent a short period, people. Moving on from that, again, everybody's kind of echoing the same things. And it seems like in the last 24 hours, things are being put to place, people, as Bologna and Arsenal are coming to an agreement. Mikel Arteta is apparently a big fan. The player's given the green light. Arsenal have sent scouts multiple times to watch the player. Arteta knows the player well and is considered a proper talent for the left back or centre back position. He can cover both. He's a quality left footed player, so Arsenal are really convinced. So it seems like we're moving ever closer, people. Chelsea had a strong interest. They didn't bid for the player. Calafiori has made it clear. Romano says that he wants to sign for Arsenal. And again, people, apparently he'll sign a 5-year deal and he'll earn around 4 million euros per year. So football's a great profession if you can get in there, really. So yeah, and Chelsea have signed a left back, so they're out of the race. Darmashef has spoken about Aaron Ramsdale. All options remain open regarding Aaron Ramsdale. His contract has 2 years to run with the option of a further year. Arsenal do not want to lose him, but understands if he wants regular first-team football, a loan cannot be ruled out. I've said it before, you couldn't rule out a loan move, especially if nobody wants to pay the asking price Arsenal was seeking. I would love for him to stay at the football club for 1 more year. I think we could get away with that. Obviously, Ramsdale wouldn't probably get more first-team football, but you don't know. You know, if that was once your spot, you might be able to regain that, people. But if you're Ramsdale, you probably want to leave. A loan could be good in that, you know, it could get us a higher fee because he's playing regular football, but he's crucially got 2 years left on his deal with the option of another one. Now, you'd imagine if he did go out on loan next season and we sold him next season, pardon me, Arsenal to strengthen the negotiation hand, they probably would want to extend that contract by a further year for Ramsdale. I'm not sure you'd want to agree with that. Again, personal terms allegedly have been agreed for Calafiori. We're just waiting for bids to be accepted, medicals to happen, and the necessary processes to take place. And, you know, apparently some say, well, we probably would, but some say we want to get him in before we jet off to America, which, as you've seen in the last 2 years, you get these players in early, it does help them bed in well. And hopefully we get a central midfielder or two. I think everybody would like a winger at the football club. I think we've all got hopes for a striker, but who knows where we're at with that. You know, commiserations to Kai Havertz, who's out of the Euros, and big up Saliba, who obviously went through, people. David Raya's move has been formally completed in terms of a permanent deal from Brentford to Arsenal. Big up David Raya, but I can't exactly say that's anything newsworthy for us because we knew that'd be the case. 1 minute it's Ajax linked with Nuno Tavares. Lazio have been linked with him. Is probably best, really. And I like to see that we're getting a move on with outgoings. Again, being linked and actually moving to these clubs are different, but It seems like Lokonga is close to signing for Sevilla. Obviously, we've let Mika Biereth leave, people, and we've got 4 million odd quid for him. As I'm sure I might have even missed that, people. It definitely should be here. Yeah, Mika Biereth has agreed. Quickly going back over this, he's agreed to join Studgrass for £4 million, people, which he had a year left on his deal. The 21-year-old needs to go and play first team football elsewhere. So yeah, you know, we've got 4 million there. Obviously, we've got a couple of million from Amari Hutchinson's move from Chelsea to Ipswich. You know, hopefully Lokonga goes to Sevilla. You hope there's a move on with Tavares, etc. Who knows? Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe, these guys are continuously linked with moves away. But apparently Lazio, to go with Ajax, are interested in Nuno Tavares, who has a year left on his deal. We did spend 8 million on him. Surely we could make that £8 million back. Or I personally think we're at the stage with Tavares that we just want you off the wage bill. Unfortunately, I know Kirantini's injury complicates things, but he's probably someone that would be moved on as well, people. Allegedly, the Italian outfit are hoping to sign the player on loan. However, it seems unlikely Arsenal will sanction another loan move for the defender this summer. His contract expires in a year and he'll be a free agent in 2025. So yeah, as it says there, this is our final opportunity to get something for him. And you never know, Tavares could go somewhere and look like a really big player. You know, Italy's a great way of life, a great country to live in. You're playing in a top 5 league. I personally think you're punching. Apparently, you know, Nuno Tavares isn't the only Portuguese man that's indirectly linked with stuff around Arsenal. Pedro Neto, 1 minute, there's a 60 million euros asking price on his head, and Arsenal, Newcastle, Manchester City, as well as Liverpool are looking at him. Now it's been revealed he could stay at the club, that being Wolves. Had a value of about 40 million in mind. I think that's about the right level, but I think he'll end up staying this summer. That's what would make more sense for all parties. Wolves are a club operating at about a level I think Neto is at right now. I mean, big up Wolves. I disagree. If the move to join a Champions League club or more competitive club, whether that be Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Newcastle, whatever, was presented, why not? I think the only issue with Nuno Tavares, with Pedro Neto is injuries. You can't bet on his fitness. But 40 million, if that was a fair value and Wolves were going for that, I don't think anybody wouldn't have a punt of that or wouldn't try and begin negotiations, much less Arsenal have been linked with him. Sadly, where you think of Neto, though, a bit like when I say the names Thomas Partey, Tomiyasu, Kieran Tierney, what word comes to mind, people? It would be injuries, right? That's the only thing that shoots him in the foot, in my humble opinion. Apparently, Arsenal are still on the hunt for a striker, says Darmashef, people. We're still actually linked with Oshimen, whether that's true or not. But Darmashef has said it's our information that the profile forward Arsenal are looking for is a young forward with a high ceiling and big potential, one that will challenge and provide more competition for established players already at the club. Now, my first choice, of course, would be a household name forward that evidently takes us to another level. I'm not saying to get these players, but you look at Joselu and the role he's had at Real Madrid, or Fulkirk in the German side, you've got that traditional kind of striker that could come off the bench and be used in a rotational angle. I think that could be something. I think we're playing a dangerous game if we're relying on the options we've got. As I've said before, we got 91 Premier League goals, over 100 in all comps. Goals on one hand are not an issue, but it's weird in that the last 2 years we've scored goals. We know we'll score goals, but who is going to get those goals? With the exception of Bukayo Saka, who's got a strong body of work, who is going to get that? And as much as I like Kai Havertz, and I think he's doing well up front, and he definitely makes me rest a bit easier up front, I still think we need a forward, really. I think we need to push those fine margins, because there were games, and it's not as easy as this, because if we signed a striker, they might have missed chances. But had we have had a forward, definitely where Newcastle away is concerned, definitely the first half against Aston Villa this year in the season that's just gone, definitely the vast majority of the runs that we had in December, even in the FA Cup when we went out to Liverpool, we need a proven goal scorer, or we're just gonna. It's not that this is as far as we get, but I think we need to really do something that gets us to that next level, really. So that's just my thoughts. What do I know? Nico Williams, I'm sure Arsenal fans, Barcelona fans, and Chelsea fans want him. All the language around him is that, you know, you play his release clause, he'll sign. It seems like Barcelona allegedly are the front runners. Whether they've got the financial means to get that done is another thing. I don't believe this, but allegedly Arsenal have offered £30 million plus Eddie Nketiah to sign Rafinha. I don't know what that means. And again, we've been linked with Mitoma, Nico Williams, Pedro Neto, and Marcus Rashford. I'm not even going to waste time with these people. Apparently, Rafinha rejected the chance to join Newcastle. He wants to play Champions League football. And apparently, Mikel Arteta hasn't given up. Apparently, we wanted him when he was at Leeds. But Eddie Nketiah and 30 million, it don't make sense. It's lazy journalism from Mr. Joe Williams, whoever that is, respectfully. Josh Rozerski apparently has rejected Arsenal and wants to join Manchester United. People, have we placed a bid for the player, really? Because as much as we can laugh about Chelsea being rejected for players, or all of us being rejected for Sesko, if you haven't placed a bid, have you been rejected, or have you spoke to the parties that are relevant and you've not really been provided with positive feedback, so you've stepped away? Who knows, people? But that's where Zertsky's concerned. 2-3 years ago, I would have taken Chiesa. Apparently, Thiago Motta doesn't see him as an essential part of his Juventus plans. He's still linked with us. Apparently, he's contracted until 2025, and he's got a 25 million euros price tag essentially on his head. Is that something we should explore? Again, a bit like Pedro Neto, you think of injuries when you see him, if I'm completely honest with you guys, people. And then, what's going on here? That's annoying. Okay. Once again, the Calafiori deal from Bologna to Arsenal is moving. Dean Jones has said, I still can't shake the feeling that Chelsea or Arsenal will go in for Victor Osimhen. It's such a big moment to let pass you by. What you have is guaranteed goals staring you in the face. Osimhen is that man. But it comes down to the price tag. You sign a new deal, and Napoli, just being notoriously difficult negotiators, make it difficult. So we'll have to see as the season plays out. Once again, Calafiori allegedly will earn 4 million euros at Arsenal. And England under-16 captain Harrison Miles has left Southampton after seeing out his contract, with Man City and Arsenal tussling for his services. Hardly Evsden James, 14, has followed Miles' decision to leave Southampton and is thought to be attracting interest from the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs. Nice to know we're going after some really, really top bracket young players to ultimately make our academy more competitive. Not just English, Irish, Scottish, and a bunch of others, people. So we'll have to see how these things develop. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on everything. Let me know your thoughts on how you feel about Calafiori potentially going for Oshimen. Do you actually think we need a striker? What do you make of Pedro Neto and Nico Williams and everything else that we've covered, people? Don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed. One love.